Hello, everybody. Welcome into Packs for Breakfast. Um, this week is a little different. Starting out, we've got 1991 Fleer Ultra Football. Uh, Not sure why I got that started right away, but I figure, you know what, Randy? This week we do things a little differently and try some new stuff. 1991 football, can't argue with that. How are you doing today?
Nope. I'm doing just fine. Noticing that the cards have different fronts. Is it two different packs or they just have different fronts on them?
No, they have two different fronts. One's a kicker and or like a punter, and then one's a group.
It seems useless to put a kicker on the front of anything, especially a punter.
Well, I think it was just what they did for the packs that week or that year because they all came out of the same box. So maybe it was just trying to get your which set you liked better. Who
I'm
knows?
telling you right now. No, I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna guarantee it. No rare card ever came out of the packs with a punter on them. It
it
just it can't
it is
can't happen.
it is certainly possible.
Just it's impossible. Can't happen. It's like that's where we're gonna get. That's where we're gonna get all of our backup running backs is out of those packs.
There we go. All right. So I was having trouble, but I figured out it's because my light was too bright. Some days it's too bright, some days it's dull. Who knows how to deal with this crap? Well, first off, we're going to go with we've got the not a donut technically, but do you know what this is?
A turnover probably.
It is a turnover. And I went with that on purpose because football turnover it fit.
Yeah. I'm hoping the Broncos do not do a lot of that today against the Ravens.
So I we haven't done football yet. We should probably touch for just a second on the fact that the Dodgers won the World Series, even though I don't
Well,
watch.
I mean, I didn't really want the Yankees to win either. I mean, it was one of those where it's like I didn't want either of these teams to win, but somebody has to. And I'm more a fan of Shohei Ohtani than Aaron Judge. The only thing that I can see, the Yankees, their fundamentals are awful. And I mean, they got a player, I can't remember his name, Vasquez or something, but he is like one of the laziest runners to first, laziest in the field. He is abysmal. And I do not understand how that guy did not get benched. He must have just an incredible bat. But I'm just watching some of his plays, and he makes very little. He does not give maximum effort.
Well, I don't have any sad feelings for the Yankees. Don't have any feelings for the Dodgers. They're not my. I don't like either team. So for me, I'm sad that the Dodgers won, but I would have been sad that the Yankees won. So it's kind of lose
Yeah,
lose.
it it just was. There was no there was no joy in baseball town for this World Series for us
I
because
I
we
think
were not rooting for either of these teams.
I think I have the best sum up of all of it.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people on the coast that absolutely love this World Series, but not here in the middle.
No, not in the middle. Well, before we get started with some of these packs, I'm going to try and get through a whole bunch of these today. Uh, so, are you a Broncos fan by nature, just, or do you have another team?
No, it was, when I was a little kid, it's like the team that grabbed my attention first was the Dolphins. And it was probably because they had a dolphin on their helmet. So that was the team that was, 8 or 9 years old. That was the team I liked. But the more I learned about football, and of course, being from here, it's like, my dad was always a huge Bronco fan. So the Bronco games were always the thing that were on. So it just naturally, I'm a homer. I root for all the Colorado teams, even the ones that are terrible. I still root for my Colorado teams.
That's fair.
But I'm definitely a diehard Broncos fan.
I like to watch the Broncos play myself. It's entertainment, and being in Colorado, you kind of go, might as well watch the home team. But at heart, I'm a Packer fan, so I figured I'd just get that out of the way right away.
So there's going to be from some of these card packs. You're not gonna see the greatest players. The greatest Packer players were not in the 1990 season for the 91 cards.
No, but James Lofton was in there, and he was a future Hall of Famer. Played for the Packers.
He's also somebody who played a lot for the Bills.
Yep.
Yeah, the Packers didn't like to sign their free agents or sign free agents. It was a huge shock. I still remember when they signed Reggie White. It was a huge shock because they never signed free agents, especially guys like that.
Yeah, they were not a go out and get them team. That's for sure. So starting out, we'll look at these packs. They're not very. There's Fleer Ultra, but they're not very ultra. They're kind of plain.
They are ultra plain.
They are ultra plain. I mean, even the back is silver. The baseball cards from '91 were more exciting. Let's just say that.
We'll see if at least the players inside are. Because in this, you're going to get offensive linemen that are tough to identify because they were just.
And I don't think we're going to have to get too in depth on these guys today. We've got, if you see somebody you really want to talk about, we got Rob Thomas.
We're already starting off. I mean, Hardy Nickerson. A lot of these guys, I remember them from Tecmo Super Bowl, man.
Oh, yeah, Tecmo.
It's like, now there was a great linebacker for the Chargers. He gave the Broncos fits.
Most people did. Patrick Hunter, Seahawks. Richard Dent.
Well, one of the all-time greats. He was, what's funny is that he's still playing for the Bears. No, he was on the Falcons. But it's like he was 6 years. Where is he? He should be 95 for the Bears. Why are they? It looks like they're featuring more the guy from the Falcons. But it's like he was a guy that, 6 years earlier, 5 or 6 years earlier, he was on that incredible 85 Bears defense that, just dominated in that season. And he's still there. He was still there for the Bears. So he still had a lot of life left in him.
The Bears have always been kind of known. They had so many good defensive players. They just couldn't really pull that offense together.
Not always. In fact, rarely.
Brian Noble.
Hey,
Packer.
Decent linebacker.
Oh, there's Ripien.
Hey, we had his kid or his nephew. I can't remember what our Ripien was, if he was actually Mark Ripien's kid. But it's like he wins the Super Bowl this year in 91. He does win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing to think that such an average quarterback, but he was going to lead that team. And the Redskins would have ended up being a wild card team this year in 91.
And they were voted the best team in football. Now, obviously, they won the Super Bowl, but they had I think they were 12-4 that year, and kind of handily beat everybody.
It's like their division was won by the Giants.
And
There's a great.
Ultra All Stars. That was one of the inserts they would do. And Dan Marino, that's a cool card to get right off the bat.
It's like, well, so far it's like we would have a quarterback for our team if we were doing a team kind of a thing.
I thought about football. Football's a tough one to do.
It is a tough one because you get into offensive linemen, it gets tough. You know, Joey Browner. You know the thing I remember about Joey Browner? It's like I remember when the Broncos were playing him, and it's like we were in Minnesota, so it was the old Hubert H. Humphrey Dome, and Gerald Wilhite had broke away to run for a touchdown. Joey Browner caught him from behind, horse collar tackled him, which wasn't illegal at the time. You could grab the shoulder pads, but Gerald Wilhite's leg got caught up in the turf as he was being pulled down and just ripped up his leg.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was a bad injury.
I can't stand watching those injuries. I can't do it.
Will not watch the Theismann injury.
Yeah, horrible.
Oh, Keith Byers.
Come on, camera. Let's do this. All right.
Okay. It doesn't want to.
Keith Byers. We got Dexter Carter.
Decent running back for them.
Yeah.
Not Roger Craig level.
Jerry Ball.
Jerry Ball was one of my favorite defensive linemen at that time. He was fun to play. He would, even in excellent condition in Tecmo Super Bowl, he could blow the center right off the ball and just get right in and get the quarterback.
He was a big boy, too.
Oh, he was a big boy. And there's another big boy, Leroy Hoard.
Yep.
My favorite quote about Leroy Hoard was, If you need 3 yards, he'll get you 3 yards. If you need 4 yards, he'll get you 3 yards.
It kind of reminds me of John Kuhn for the Packers for years. Yep. He was just that short yardage guy. All right, well, Herschel Walker, that's a good one.
And here's the thing about Herschel Walker. That is after the Dallas trade. So it's like that's after Dallas traded him to Minnesota and got all those picks. That was the beginning of the end for the Vikings and the beginning of the beginning for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Brett Perriman.
Decent wide receiver. I liked him, but he wasn't a superstar.
Draft pick, Jared Bunch.
You know what? It's like Jared Bunch he was supposed to be better than he was. He just never amounted to much of anything.
Rodney.
Now there's a good Giants running back.
And to me, hey, speaking of the devil, there's Mr. Reggie
White.
He
is. Future Packer, Reggie White.
Future Super Bowl champion Reggie White. Oh, and then we got
Minister of Defense. Whoa.
Jerry Rice.
See what did I tell you? You opened up the cards that had the football players on the front. Look at what we get. We get like Dan Marino and Jerry Rice and guys like that. And Reggie. It's like, yeah. And then we get a punter. Jesus, you should have been in the other pack. Saxon.
I feel like if I
ruins everything.
If I would have opened these couple packs that we've opened so far as a kid, I would have been super excited because, man, you start off with Marino, you get Rice, Reggie White. It's all good cards.
Oh, yeah. Those would have been happy cards to open up.
Ryan Brennan, Steve Smith.
The white wide receiver.
Right. Jerry Gray.
There's the slot. Yeah, he was fine.
It's funny when you get cards for defensive linebackers. I mean, off defensive line, there was always, or this one, even like offensive lineman, that's not an exciting card to get. It's just, there was so many of them. And like Reggie White, you knew who Reggie White was, but come on, Boyer.
Well, I mean, there were some defensive linemen that were, if you get a Bruce Smith or something like that, you're a happy guy. But, you get, a guy like, I don't know, who would have been playing at the Ma Tanubasa or something, you're probably not as happy.
Right. It just, there was enough players to where you could be getting a defensive lineman and just, you're like, okay, That's gonna go in the binder or whatever, and then that's it.
Yep.
All right.
You got to have all the cards or try to collect them all, but some of them just aren't exciting.
Gary Anderson. Come on, camera. Why do you do this to me every week? You're gonna get replaced. You're gonna get moved.
Yeah. You're gonna get moved to the scrap pile, camera.
Yeah, you're gonna get thrown on the bench. Nobody wants to be on the bench.
One of the Marx brothers. Mark Clayton and Mark Duper.
Dwayne Bickett.
Underrated linebacker. He was actually very good. Dwayne Bickett was a very good linebacker.
The Colts were terrible though, so.
But yeah, Bickett was good though. Bickett was a good linebacker. Ken Harvey. He was the only player you could use on the Arizona Cardinals. He was at that time.
Yeah, the Cardinals
because he was the only one in that game that was actually good.
The Cardinals were just as bad as the Colts.
Yep.
And they were still in Phoenix.
Steve Broussard, he was fine. He was a decent running back. Nothing.
And nope, another failed draft pick.
Horrible draft pick.
Leon Seals, defensive line. See, that's another card.
That's the defensive lineman that you get. Unless you're a Buffalo fan, you're probably not excited.
Lorenzo White. I really liked the Oilers when I was.
Oh, I did too. I still love those uniforms.
Like Warren Moon and oh man, I liked those guys. Craig Townsend, Eddie Brown.
Good, but he was a Raider. Mediocre, but he was a Bengal.
Raider. We got the place kicker, David Treadwell. Yes.
It's like, really? You're going to give me a Bronco and it's going to be Treadwell? Probably the worst Broncos kicker in the last 40 years. It's like, we've had guys like Elam. We've had guys like, even Rich Karlis was better than Treadwell. And it's like, and even right now, Lutz, I like him.
Yeah, Lutz is good. There we go.
He's been a pretty good kicker for us. McManus, I like McManus until you find out he's maybe a woman beater.
Oh, he's a Packer now, too.
And he has won a couple of games for you.
Yep. Kevin Porter traded, so I don't know where he was traded from, but it does not say.
Why is he tackling a Bronco? And it looks like it was poor Sandy Winder.
And then you got future coach Eric Bieniemy.
Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. I still remember that. I still remember that from Chris Berman. But Eric Bieniemy at CU was amazing. He was a part of, I think, the 90 national champion team for the CU Buffs. Eric Bieniemy is one of my favorite running backs for him and Rashawn Salam.
Salam was really good. Jamie Muller, Bills running back. He was a big boy too, man.
Looks like he was probably a fullback or something. Yeah. I don't think that guy ever had a run over 6 yards.
All right, here's a punter pack just for you, Randy. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, the punter pack. So we're gonna get 6 kickers, 4 punters, and an offensive lineman that we don't know.
Yeah. Well,
let's see how great the cards are in the punter pack.
They're backwards. I don't like that.
Well, that tells you right there because punters are backwards.
We got Tim Crumry. Oh yeah.
Tim Crumry was that's a good offensive lineman. That's Everett. A good quarterback.
Yep, good quarterback.
Do you remember the controversy around Jim Everett when he was on the Jim Rome show, and Jim Rome kept calling him Chris Everett until Jim Everett got so mad he attacked him?
I didn't have cable back then, so.
Yeah, no, it was so funny because Chris Everett is Chris Everett Lloyd, who is a female tennis player, and he used to say that Jim Everett kind of played like a girl. He wasn't very good, so he really it's like Jim went after him.
But thinking about Jim Rome's show later, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. He was always kind of a prick.
Tim McGee. Al
Good wide
Toon.
receiver. One of the best Jets wide receivers. I loved Al Toon.
Yep.
So good.
Willie Drury, Buccaneers wide
Uh,
receiver.
yeah, you can tell he had a Hall of Fame career, huh?
Yeah. Sammy Smith.
Future Broncos, Sammy Smith.
That's a cool rain shot. I mean, it's hard to see.
It is.
They're playing in the
We
rain.
traded, I remember we traded a defensive lineman, I think, for him. No, we traded Melvin Bratton, I think, for Sammy Smith. If I remember right. Oh, great. They're a great linebacker. Always overshadowed by Lawrence Taylor, but Carl Banks was the anchor.
And this 91 season of Cards would be the 1990 season
Yeah.
in which the Giants won the Super Bowl.
Yep. And there's a Super Bowl champion, Carl Banks.
That's right. Kyle Clifton. You know, I'll give it to Fleer Ultra. One thing that they always did, even in the baseball, and they do take good pictures. Like, I really am enjoying the shots of these players.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like nothing that makes you think, well, this guy, you know, he's thinking to himself because this is the second time. It's like, how many times you guys going to embarrass me by bringing me out here to show that I was terrible?
And that's the face of a guy who realizes he sucks.
Yeah. He's just going, oh, man, I'm going to be bad at this.
Another Steve Broussard, Ken Harvey.
See, this is what would make me mad right now is if I was opening packs as a kid.
Yep, because here we go.
We're already recycling.
Dwayne Bickett, Mark Clayton, we've had him. Gary Anderson, we had him.
Yep.
You know,
so I mean, we're already cycling through.
So the punter pack kind of lived up to its name. Here's a quarterback pack.
Did.
So let's see.
We should have punted on 4th down and got rid of that pack.
You know, it was something that I saw a lot. I did a short video yesterday on 1992 Upper Deck.
Yeah.
And I got 2 of the same player in the pack right back to back. And I said, man, I hate it when they do that.
So was that the one that had Griffey in it? The Griffey family?
Yep.
I wonder why I don't remember, because it's like I saw the Griffey family card. I don't remember the back-to-back.
Dave Meggett, and that card's a little beat up.
Oh, that is a little beat up. Look at that little Meggett go.
We got Wes Hopkins, Tom Rathman, 49ers
Big
running
Tom
back.
Rathman. Only Niners player I ever really liked in that era. Well, other than Rice. Rice was phenomenal.
Michael Irvin.
One of the best at his position.
He was,
and one of the best at getting away with offensive pass interference. He was so good at it.
But he was the best wide receiver in the league at that time.
Oh yeah, he was amazing.
Reggie Lang.
He was a good wide receiver too. Reggie Langhorne. You know, we're not getting a lot of tight ends.
We've only had one so far. We got Tom Hodson, Patriots quarterback.
Okay, I have remembered every single player that you have shown me in these packs. I do not remember Tom Hodson.
And neither does the greater football community.
It's like nobody.
Mike Merriweather, good. He was a good linebacker. Yeah.
He was.
Steve Walsh, Saints quarterback. We've had him. Here's Pat Harlow, Patriots offensive line draft pick. Woohoo!
See, I even remember Pat Harlow. Because I think he played for a little bit. I think he was a decent lineman.
Lewis Tillman, Giants running back.
Not very good.
Jerome Brown, Eagles defense line. See, and this is what I'm talking about with football. At least in baseball, you could get, the players, you kind of know who's playing. I mean, you get some offhand, but, to get a defensive lineman. Now, Jerome Brown was probably a good player, but.
Well, but the thing that Jerome Brown was actually a great defensive lineman. He played alongside Reggie White, and they were both amazing. The reason you probably don't know about Jerome Brown is because he died very early in his career. He would have become a household name the thing is, his short career, he was becoming a household name because of how good he was, but he died way too young. And he was going to be something special. and it's sad that his light kind of got extinguished too quick.
Come on, camera. You're killing me, Smalls. There.
That's a baseball reference.
We got it. All right. There's your
got
tight end. Yes.
Frank Jones. And right now, he would be the candidate to start.
Right? Oh, and a checklist. Nice.
We like checklist. We like the checklists.
All right. Punter pack again. Here we go.
Oh, we're going to get 8 cards in a row of what we already have.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of the blue bottle because I think the blue bottle is what's giving me trouble right now. So I'm going to get rid of it. I think that's what the camera's trying to focus on.
It's like it likes the blue bottle and obviously it wants a drink.
Yep, I think that's the case.
It's going, I'm not a Coke fan unless there's rum in it.
All right, so we got traded Winston Moss, if I can get it to focus.
Winston Moss, another one I remember from Tecmo Bowl. It's like, I think it's like, but I don't like him. There's a kicker.
Good old place kicker, Mike Coffer.
Yeah, there we go.
John Grimsley, good linebacker.
Good linebacker, traded from the Oilers.
Robert Brown, Packers defensive line.
He would not probably be there once the Minister of Defense gets there.
And what's funny is he's getting punched in the face in this picture.
By a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, but a good one, because Gruber was a good offensive lineman for them.
Jeff Bostic.
Another good offensive lineman. But look at this. The punter pack has offensive linemen like crazy and defensive linemen. And a kicker.
Yeah. Ricky Waters. Good running back.
Oh, good running back. I did not like Ricky Waters. I didn't like him at Notre Dame. I didn't like him in Seattle. I didn't like him in San Francisco. I didn't like him wherever he went, but he was good.
He was serviceable.
It was fine.
Don Beebe.
Who made the epic chase down of Leon Lett.
Yep.
But that will be in a couple of years.
Bruce Smith, All-Star. Everybody knew Bruce Smith.
Well, I'm telling you, our defensive line would have Bruce Smith on one side and Reggie White on the other.
Yeah, it would be formidable.
Oh, that would be something special. Actually, right there.
And I think for your All-Star video, I think I'll pull out these defensive linemen, and you can do a All-Star video.
Oh yeah, and Jerome Brown's got to be in there, and so does Jerry Ball. Because right now you're talking about a defensive line that I would be proud to have.
Right.
I love that defensive line.
Think about this: you have Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, and Dan Marino.
Wow. I'm telling you, what a team. I still don't have a running back I'm happy with, though.
Rich Gannon.
Future Raider.
Not going to be your quarterback. Guy, I hated Rich Gannon. I don't know why. Maybe because he became a Raider, but God, I couldn't stand him.
Craig Ironhead Hayward.
Yeah. Draft pick, Russell Maryland.
He had a very good career. He did win some Super Bowls with those Cowboys teams.
Phil Simms. Everybody knows Phil Simms.
I liked Phil Simms. I really did. Won the Super Bowl.
I really liked Boomer Esiason.
Oh, yeah. Boomer was fun. There'd be my tight end, Keith Jackson.
49ers defensive back. Is that who you want for your tight end so far? Because I'm going to put him to the side.
So far, he would definitely be. Keith Jackson he was a future Packer.
Football.
I've been happy that we've gotten some pretty good defensive linemen and wide receivers and quarterback. That is not the 84 from Minnesota I wanted to see.
Vaughn Johnson, linebacker.
Fine player, nothing special.
Randall Hill, draft pick.
Randall Thrill Hill. He wasn't that much of a thrill.
Maurice Carthen, Giants running back.
He was fine.
Anthony Toney, Eagles running back.
we're not finding the great running backs.
No, not yet. Daryl Pollard, defensive back.
I think he's a repeat.
Oh, there we go.
There's the running back.
Yeah. There's no argument there.
No, I don't know. I don't even know if I'd find another. You could find another running back. He ain't going to take Barry Sanders' place. Maybe get me a.
Emmitt Smith would probably be the next guy in this set that would be,
Yeah.
This is a running back heavy pack we got here.
Yeah, Eric Metcalf was good. There is a future Denver Bronco, John Stevens.
Another big guy. There's a lot of big beefy running backs in 1990.
Another running back, Rick Fetty.
It's funny, we didn't even talk about Barry Sanders, but do we really need to? I mean,
no. It's like if you don't know who Barry Sanders is, you're probably only 6 years old watching this with somebody else. It's like everybody knows Pat Swilling, good linebacker.
Draft pick.
Quick story on Pat Swilling. It's like Bill Parcells was trying to motivate Lawrence Taylor because Lawrence Taylor always had problems with, I think it was Lomas Brown or something like that for the Rams. And so, Parcells went up to Lawrence Taylor and says, I think I'm going to trade for Pat Swilling. And Lawrence Taylor goes, why? And he goes, well, because it's like Pat Swilling, he can beat Lomas Brown, and I need a guy that can beat Lomas Brown. So I'm thinking about trading you for Pat Swilling. The very game that it's like the Giants played against Lomas Brown, Lawrence Taylor had 3 sacks.
There you go.
He was just such a great motivator.
Todd Marinovich, draft pick, Raiders quarterback.
He deserved to be a Raider because he was bad.
Everson Walls, defensive back. Fred Barnett, I remember him. He was a pretty good wide receiver.
He was a pretty good receiver.
All right, QB pack, here we come. See, this is kind of fun because we're not dwelling on the players as fast, so we're getting to see a lot more.
Well, and the thing is, it's like I can dwell on the players in the all-star stuff.
Yes. All right, there we go. Jeff Bryant, Seahawks. Winston Moss, Raiders linebacker. I feel like...
Don't do this to me, quarterback pack. Don't give me the repeats.
Oh.
The repeat kicker. Oh, no.
Oh, John Grimsley.
No. Oh, this was...
Robert
this
Brown.
Is the Browning... This is the Browning Nagel of packs.
John Offerdahl.
Good linebacker. I like John Offerdahl.
Clarence Verdon.
It's like Clarence Verdon was supposed to be something good. He had some okay years. I'll give him that.
Ernie Jones.
Fine. He was okay.
Keith Jones.
Keith Jones. I got to keep up with the Joneses.
Godfrey Miles, Fleer draft pick.
He was not good ever. That was a failed one.
Pete Metzlars. I like the name.
Good tight end. Yeah, Pete Metzlars was a good tight end. I liked him.
Ernest Givens.
Very good Oilers wide receiver.
And he had Warren Moon throwing to him, who Warren Moon, I guess I should say, Jameis Winston reminds me of Warren Moon, because Warren Moon would just huck the ball up. I mean, he had one of the games, I think he set a record for 526 passing yards or something like that.
Yeah.
And
the only thing is Warren Moon did not throw as many interceptions. He was a much better quarterback. But yeah, I can see why his game does remind me a little bit of Jameis Winston's.
But I liked him a lot. I was a Warren Moon.
Oh, yeah. Warren Moon was one of my favorites, too.
Willie Gault and
David. I liked him better as a Bear.
Didn't Warren Moon go to the Seahawks eventually?
Or was it the Minnesota Vikings?
No, the Vikings was Cunningham. Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, they did have Cunningham. I'll tell you, I must have blocked that out if he went there, but I know he went somewhere else.
Mike Pritchard.
Oh, there was a pretty. He never amounted to what he should have been in the NFL, but It's like he was part of that. He was part of that great team for Colorado.
Yeah, it had Alfred Williams and
Canavis McGee.
Mike. Mike Pritchard actually still does radio for Denver.
Yeah, I liked Mike Pritchard. He just wasn't. He just didn't have a great career. He did play for Minnesota.
Warren Moon did?
So, yep, he played for Minnesota for 3 years. And he played for Seattle, so we're both right.
Michael Irvin, Reggie Langhorne, Tom Hodson. Hey, he's back.
I didn't know you the first time, and I still don't know you.
Cleveland Gary.
Seen him.
Merriweather, seen him. Hey, Eugene Marv.
Well, at least he's different.
At least. Oh, Gary Plummer. Big guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Green.
Very good linebacker.
Very good.
He's most known, I think, for being a Carolina Panther, and then I think he was a Steeler at the end of his career.
Mike Singletary and Joe Mott.
Very good player. See, Mike Singletary would definitely be in my linebacker core.
Okay, I'm pulling the offensive defensive. So if you want Mike Singletary, I'll put him in there too. I just have to pull him out so that you can do your. Herman Moore, we just talked about him. Lawrence Taylor, there he is.
There's one of my linebackers too. One of the greatest linebackers in Lawrence Taylor.
You can't argue that one. Yeah, Heath Sherman, Eagles, Charles Haley, 49ers. Good.
He was a weirdo.
Yeah.
He was. Look at there's the Emmitt Smith card.
That's it. We got Emmitt. All right, who are you picking, Sanders or Emmitt?
I'm still taking Sanders, but you know what? Put Emmitt in there because it's like I can run split back sets.
Oh, that's true. You have the.
It's like I could run split back sometimes and put both of them, and you got to be scared of both.
See, the thing is Sanders. If you really think about it, Sanders was towards the end, not quite towards the end, but I mean, Emmitt Smith at this point was just coming up versus Barry, who'd already been in the league for a while. So.
Yeah, but Barry still had some amazing years in front of him. I think his 2000 year was still in front of him.
And if you're talking about Tecmo, you're talking about Bo Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're talking about Bo Jackson. I don't know if we'll get one of those.
Probably not. But Arthur Cox, tight end, Chargers.
He was fine.
Terry Wooden.
Well, he's chasing a Bronco. Yeah. Don't catch him. Don't catch him.
William Perry, defensive line, big guy.
Well, that's the fridge.
Yep.
That's William Refrigerator Perry.
Yep, big guy. Ooh, Sterling Sharp.
I'm still not taking him over Jerry Ball or. Sterling Sharp. That's a very good one right there too.
Yeah.
That's like I said. The wide receivers have been phenomenal because that is also a great
executive decision. He's going up there with Michael Irving. Sorry.
And look at, you got even Art Monk in this thing. Gary Clark. Art Monk was 81.
Gary Clark.
He was good.
There's Herschel again. Brett Perryman.
Dude, we've seen him.
Who's got his hands deep in a face mask right there.
Yeah.
Jared Bunch, we saw him already. Well, this has been a nice switch. I didn't know how football was going to go for me, but I'm a football fan, but back in 91, I was not so much into it, and I'm enjoying this. So, Rodney.
Yeah, see, Barry Sanders' 2,000-yard season was in 1997, so he still had a lot of great years in front of him.
Yeah, I think I misspoke a little on his career. He was not just that late. Reggie, he's going to come up here this time. Jerry again. We already got him up there.
Yep.
Cowboys punter. You need a punter for your team.
I know. No, I think we're going to go for it on fourth down every time.
Brian Brennan.
I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get
Oh.
to fourth down. Oh,
We
that's a
gotta
good
put
line.
Junior's gotta go in there.
Yeah, I mean, he terrorized the Broncos, but what great linebacker didn't?
So, if we're playing this right now, as we look at it, you have Junior Seau, Lawrence Taylor, and Mike Singletary as your linebacking group.
I know, and it's like such that it's how do you beat? And it's like right now you got, two guys in the middle like Seau and Singletary. Holy smokes! I'm running. I guess I could run a 3-4. Maybe I'm going to run a 4-4. I don't need that many defensive backs if I've got that kind of a pass rush.
Well, you could easily drop two safeties and not even be concerned, which we haven't seen many safeties yet. We'll have to keep
David
an eye
Fulcher
out.
was the only safety of note.
Keith Woodside.
Because I don't think we've gotten a Ronnie Lott even, or
Ricky Sanders. That's a cool picture.
Yeah, good picture. Is he going to lose that ball?
Yeah, it looks like it. Rick Benny, Pat Swilling, Marinovich, Everson Walls.
We've already seen that guy.
Yeah, we've seen him already. Sorry if that audio got a little bit spiky there. I was opening the pack too close to the mic. Jim Harbaugh.
Hey, isn't he coaching the Chargers right now?
Charles Wilson. Alvin Walton. Hassan Jones.
Again.
Vaughn Johnson.
Again.
Randall Hill. Draft pick. Maurice Carthen getting tackled by a Bronco.
Which is nice. I think that's Keith Brooks or something.
Anthony
Maybe Al Russell.
Daryl Pollard. He's a defensive back.
Just an average one, though.
There's Barry again.
Hi, Barry.
Eric Metcalf. John Stevens.
Future Bronco against the Broncos.
Yep. Pat Carter, tight end. Shane Conlon.
He was actually a pretty good linebacker, too. Boy, that was a lot of repeats in that thing.
Yeah, well, when you open a whole box, of cards, you're bound to get some repeats, for sure.
Yeah, but that was like a whole pack of them almost.
Willie Drury.
You weren't impressive the first time we saw you.
Sammy Smith again. In the rain. Jack Trudeau. Colts quarterback.
You're not going to be Peyton Manning, are you?
His face.
There was a reason.
His face is saying, "I'm about to get sacked."
He's looking at that guy going, "That guy's going to hit me. He's going to hurt me." Isn't he? That's why he's wearing the flak jacket.
Aaron Cox. Mike Rozier.
Decent, but he played for Nebraska, so I hated him.
Eric Bieniemy again.
CU player. I think CU beat Nebraska that year. Take that, Rozier.
Andre Reed, who was a good
good wide receiver.
Very good one. Oh, come on, Pax. Don't do this to me. You made
I'll tell you, it's like the Pats have definitely gave us some. You got to remember, the early 90s had some great wide receivers.
Sean Jones, defensive line.
Good lineman.
Tim Brown.
Another great wide receiver.
Yep. Not better than, they're not better than the ones we have, but.
No. But Tim Brown, here was the thing about Tim Brown. It's like he was up for free agency. And the Denver Broncos needed a wide receiver. So they decided that they were going to go after Al Davis's Tim Brown. So they would make Tim Brown an offer, and then the Raiders would up the offer. Well, then the Broncos would up the offer again. The Raiders would counter with a better offer. Well, the thing is, it's like Pat Bowlen was doing that on purpose because he knew that he would never let us have Tim Brown. So he just kept upping the offer so that they had to overpay him. So Tim Brown got a lot of money because it's like the Broncos knew that they were not going to let him come to us.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So it was funny. I remember it's like you could just keep bidding and bidding and bidding. Now, at some point, Al Davis probably would have said, I'm not paying anymore, but it was going to be a high number.
Come on.
Keith Byars was a solid fullback.
There it goes. I got to block the cards in back because for some reason it wants to focus on those guys. Dexter Carter, running back.
You know, Roderick Gregg. There's Jerry.
Jerry Ball.
Jerry Big Ball.
Big guy.
See, I'm telling you, that's an anchor on that defensive line right there. That's a space eater.
Leroy Horde. Well, we'll put him down there too, just in case you want to.
Oh, he's gonna be on the team unless we find. I don't know. We'd have to find
Hartley Dykes.
That's the one that reminded me immediately of Tecmo Bowl when I first saw that card.
Willie Anderson.
He was good. Flipper.
Carl Banks. Kyle Clifton.
Decent linebacker for the Jets.
Gary Anderson's back.
Clayton's back.
Pickett's back.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back again?
Broussard's back. Rodney Holman, we haven't seen yet. That's cool. All right.
We haven't seen Rodney Holman
Finished
yet.
on a card that we haven't seen. There was I was doing a short video on this Fleer football, and I came across probably my favorite player who I didn't know existed. His name was Louis Lips.
Oh, Louis Lips.
Yeah. But if you say
it's like a wonderful company.
You know his parents did that on purpose. Louis Lips.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Gerald
Louis
Reed.
Lips ships. Randall.
Got Randall.
That is a guy right there. I am sad never got a ring.
You know, and he was the quintessential Eagles quarterback. You know, that's just what that was. He was the type of quarterback that the Eagles wanted.
Oh yeah, I mean, just some of the spectacular plays he made in his. I still remember almost getting tackled in the end zone for a safety and him just hucking the ball downfield for like a 90-some-odd yard touchdown. He made so many amazing plays in his career.
Did you see the Hail Mary last week that Jaden Daniels threw?
Yep.
That was such a fun play because there's no reason that Noah Brown should have been just standing there by himself.
No. Not even a little bit.
An absolute breakdown of defense. And, I mean, Jaden Daniels' stock is just flying up because nobody really gave them credit. Or, you know, they didn't think he was going to be the best quarterback. And boom, he's crushing it. The Commanders are like, what, 6-2 right now? 7-2? I mean,
yeah.
They're killing it.
Yeah, no, it's like it's good to see that a team that was, because Dan Snyder was such a terrible owner, it's good to see that their fan base is getting to see something good happen again for their team.
Yep. Herman Moore, draft pick.
Herman, did you know that we had a quarterback named Sean Moore? He was the quarterback in Virginia that threw to Herman Moore. And like Sean Moore was part of a 2-quarterback system here in Denver when Elway got hurt. Him and Tommy Maddox. Well, and it did not work.
This is what we would call a hot pack because I looked and I saw we have 2 ultra all-star cards in this pack. So it was a punch.
And you got an ultra all-star right there in Lawrence Taylor.
That's it. Heath Sherman, running back. Charles Haley, 49ers. We talked about him. Oh, look, and we got another Emmett.
See, this would have been a good pass. Oh, there's your corner right there. That's one of the best corners of all time.
Darrell Green. And then we got Barry as an Ultra All-Star. So Barry's Ultra, he's going to go up there. Anthony Carter.
Not the good Carter.
Morton
the
Anderson.
Average Carter.
Did Morton Anderson, was he a punter for the Broncos?
Nope. Morton Anderson was a kicker for the Saints. He was later a kicker for the Falcons. He had a very long career.
Oh, maybe was he the kicker that played against the Broncos in the Super Bowl for the Falcons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he would have been on. He would have been on that. He'd have been on that team.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he would have been like the 2000. But yeah, that tells you how long Morton Anderson's career was.
Well,
so that card you just put down, that Mike Kroll, that's a Broncos draft pick. Yeah. So in Mike Kroll's rookie season, he had like 10.5 sacks in his rookie season for us.
He was he was the defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, and we thought we had something special, and then he fell off the table. It's like he was never good. He was never that good again. I think he had like a year with 5.5 or 6 sacks. But everybody in Denver was high on him, thought, oh, man, he's going to be great. And I don't know how you have such a great rookie year like that, and then it's what makes me hate the University of Nebraska even more. They build up our hopes and then take them away.
Just like Rich Gannon.
Yeah, just like Rich Gannon. Although my fantasy team did win a Super Bowl with Rich Gannon as the quarterback.
Craig Hayward,
when he was with the Raiders.
Russell Maryland. We're starting to repeat a lot of cards here. Phil Simms, Keith Jackson, tight end. Oh, there he is.
There he is. Louis Lips.
Favorite player that I did not know existed.
It is a great name.
Anthony Miller.
Future Denver Bronco Anthony Miller.
Tommy Kane. He looks like he's running. He's running for his life right now. Look at that face.
It's like, well, the thing is, it's like he knows he's been caught.
Mark Carrier.
He was a decent defensive back at that time. Not great, but
Don
decent.
Majkowski, Packers quarterback.
The Magic Man, Don Majkowski, pre-Favre.
Yep.
Oh, good card, a good player in there with him. Howie Long.
Gerald Riggs, Redskins running back. It's funny when you see the Redskins because it's taken me so many years to call them the Commanders, and then you go back to a pack from '91 and you have to go back to saying Redskins. It'll probably ruin me for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll be saying Washington Redskins for a little while again.
There's Randall. We got Wade Wilson, Vikings. Dalton Hilliard, flying through these packs. I love it. At least the Commanders is better than the Washington football team.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like I'm fine with the Commanders. I don't have anything against the Commanders.
Kevin Fagan, Michael Coffer.
So it's like, so we have a kicker.
Yep.
That was a Kofor.
Yep.
And now we have a linebacker that's a Kofor, and I'd rather have him as my kicker.
Kevin Mack, Browns running back.
That's a big boy right there, Kevin Mack.
He's a big guy. Maurice Hurst.
He was fine. Nothing great about Maurice Hurst.
Vern Brostick.
He was a pretty good offensive lineman. He really was.
Brian Noble. Got Mr. Mark again. Dan Marino, All-Star.
Captain Dan.
Yeah. Well, he's your quarterback so far.
He is my quarterback. There could be my safety right there because Joey Browner was really good. He was really good. He might have injured a Bronco, but he was still a really good safety. He was a hard hitter.
Pat Harlow with a huge, look at that horse collar he's got on.
That thing is massive. You're not going to get that guy's head backwards.
Lewis Tillman, Jerome Brown, Eagles defensive line.
Yep, that's another one. Him and Jerry Ball are going to be my defensive tackles.
All right, Pax. I know you're getting to the end, and now you don't want to. They're wanting to fall over. Yep, there it goes.
It's like it says, you know what? I'm going to lay down here. Well, he says I've been standing up for an hour now. It's like I'm going to lay down.
Well, and he was the quarterback pack behind the punter pack, so the punter pack was kicking him the whole time.
Yeah, it's like just been kicking him in the butt. Get out of the way.
John Offerdahl.
Very good linebacker.
Verdun.
Clarence. His name was Clarence. He didn't have a chance to be. He didn't have a chance to be great. His name was Clarence.
Ernie Jones. Keith Jones. Oh, we've seen this pack already.
I think we have. Ernie, followed by Keith.
Yeah. Godfrey Miles. See, it's the same exact pack. Metzlars. Ernest Givens. Willie Galt. David Fulcher.
Very good safety.
Mark Jackson.
It's Mark Jackson. He caught the pass in the drive in '86.
Yeah. Roderick Thompson.
Unfortunately, that's what he's known for, is that one catch.
Todd McNair. Mike Young.
So there's our white wide receiver in the slot.
Yeah, and then 2 Broncos in one pack. How about that?
Yeah, 2 Broncos in one pack. No John Elway.
So it seems like a stupid, but being a Broncos homer, if we pulled an Elway out of here, would you pick Elway or Marino as your quarterback?
You know what? I'm taking Elway. I saw Elway do amazing things with bad teams. I also saw him do dumb things with bad teams. But Elway's my guy. He's who I'd take. But I love having Marino there because Marino was such a prolific passer.
Eric Howard. Giants.
Look at that. That's hands to the face.
Yeah, that's hands to the chin is what that is.
Yeah, but he's going up a little higher to punch him underneath the throat.
Oh, yeah. Little forearm shiver. Roderick Thomas. There's the regular Dan Marino.
It's like
Jeff George.
No.
You don't want Jeff George?
So we had Jack Trudeau and Jeff George. So we had the backup and the starter for the Colts.
So who did Jeff George end up playing for? Because he didn't play for the Colts. He played for somebody else later on.
Well, he played for the Colts. He pissed off the Colts offensive line. He played for the Raiders. He played for who else did Jeff George play for? Off the top of my head, no, he didn't play for the Cowboys.
I keep thinking Buccaneers, but
it's like I know he was a Raider because I know we had to face him, and of course Jeff George. I think we made him look like an all-star when he was on the back end of his career.
Ooh.
But he played. Okay, so Jeff George played with the Colts for 4 years, the Falcons, the Raiders, the Vikings, the Redskins, the Seahawks, the Bears.
Oh, maybe I was thinking of him as a Falcon.
That's possible, because that was the team he went to right after the Colts. Hey, Andre Bad Moon Rising.
I am a huge fan of Andre Rison.
Did you know that he had Lisa Left Eye Lopez as his girlfriend and she tried to burn down his house?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I liked Andre Rison, though.
I
like TLC, too.
Yeah. She was the one that died in the plane crash, wasn't she?
She had. I don't know if it was a plane, but she did pass away. Yes.
Yeah, it was a plane.
She had some slight mental issues, and I think she was trying to get help for it. It's like it's just sad because she was young when she went.
It's what happens when you chase waterfalls, Randy.
Yeah. Don't go chasing them. Or if you're Weird Al Yankovic, don't go making phony calls.
Yep, that either. It'll get you every time. Leonard Smith, that's a
Weird Al is still alive and he's like 70.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah, he's happy. He's happy because he's on a team that went to the Super Bowl.
Jacob Green, look at that face mask.
Look at them. Look at them. They're both hitting each other in the face, it looks like.
He's got a full on grip on that face mask, and he's pushing his helmet down, saying, "Get out of here, dude."
It's a good picture. It's right. You're right. There are some very good pictures.
This guy,
Brad could.
he's like, he sees the open field in front of him, and he says, "Oh, this never happens."
Yeah. Well, Brad was trying to muster up a good run there.
Jeff Query, don't know him. He was a Packer, and I don't know him.
Well, that's the obligatory slot wide receiver. That's white.
And then we got Ernest Biner, Redskins running back. All right, we got 2 packs left. We're gonna make it. We're gonna
be able to make it through those pretty quick.
All right, so we got Kevin Mack. It'll focus. Come on, there we
go. Return of the Mac.
One of my favorite songs. I mean,
yeah, it was a good song.
Maurice Hurst. Got him already. We've got Brostick. Mark Collins. Look at how proud he is. He is so proud of
himself. He is. Look at that. That's a good picture. He's very proud of whatever he did right there. He is very happy with himself at that moment.
We got Rob Moore,
who was a good wide receiver.
Mark Carrier.
You know, that's like our good catchers. Those are like, if I had a punter, it would be that guy right there. Reggie Roby.
I'm gonna put him in the pile as your punter.
Yeah, you know what? I liked Reggie Roby. If there was a punter I liked, it was Reggie.
Mike Pryor.
Who was a good defensive back, but not great.
Johnny Johnson.
Boy, there was no creativity from his parents, was there?
John Raid.
He was fine.
Oh, there he is. Ultra draft pick. Brett Favre. I like this card.
Brett Favre.
It's Favre.
It's Favre.
And
you know what? I wish that he didn't have all this controversy right now surrounding him.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this card for myself because
because it's like, I mean, you being a Packer fan, I'm sure Brett Favre was your quarterback.
And then you have probably the most productive running back of the early 90s, Thurman Thomas.
Oh, definitely. Could catch, could run. Just Thurman Thomas. That is such a tough. But when you got Emmett and Barry, it's tough. Unless they're going to run the wishbone offense.
Yeah, I don't think Thurman Thomas goes with those two. I mean, they're arguably better. You know, they had better careers, but from the jump, Thurman Thomas was just a monster.
Yeah, I always liked Thurman Thomas. It was so sad that he didn't know where they put his helmet. Somebody moved the equipment guy or something moved his helmet.
Right. All right. Now we got one last pack, and then we'll call it quits on this. But
there are a lot of good cards in there, though.
It's been a really fun episode. We've got a lot of good players in here. I got a Favre draft pick card, which
you did.
I'm going to add that to the collection. Unless anybody wants to buy it from me. I'm always willing to sell, Randy.
Yeah. Sell.
Chris Dishman.
He was good for years.
Mervin Fernandez. Haven't seen him
yet. He was not good.
Oh, there's Boomer. I like Boomer. Boomer's going to go with Favre because I like him.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Dan. I like you. But there is nobody from that era for me that tops John Elway. There's just not.
All right.
That's my quarterback.
You're gonna catch some flack on your
I'm
show,
gonna catch
Randy.
a lot of flack because people are gonna point out his numbers early on in his career and the 3 lost Super Bowls that he had previous to that. But that's my guy.
And I mean you can't really talk about early careers. Look at Peyton Manning. That dude used to throw the most interceptions in the league. So I mean, but yes, you're still going to future Bronco.
Yep, future Bronco Bubby.
Bubby Brister.
As John's backup. He did get a Super Bowl win though too,
Well, and the good
because
thing
he was
is
John's backup at that time.
uh, as you know what? We're gonna put Bubby right up there with Mr. Elway because you're gonna get some flack off your video, but I like that. Spark a little bit of controversy. I'm gonna give you both
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give you both Marino and Elway so you can talk about it.
Oh yeah, because I'll sit there and I'll pull out Dan Marino and sit there and go, this is my quarterback on the second string of my team.
Gilbert. Hey, but if you had Elway and Marino like 1-2 backup and starter, I mean, holy crap.
Yeah, can you imagine how many first round picks I could get for one of those guys?
Right? Derek Fenner, Trace Armstrong.
He was a good lineman for them for a long time.
Tim Harris.
I think that was the jerk that injured McMahon.
We got Wilbur Marshall.
He was on the 85 Bears team too.
Keith Jackson, Ulster All-Stars. I think he's your tight end, isn't he?
He is my tight end.
All right. Well, there you got an all-star card for him. Then we got Chris Dolman. And the last card, Gene Atkins.
That's the guy that came up with the Atkins diet, isn't it?
We're going to say yes. All right.
Don't anybody Google it.
Don't fact check that one, guys.
Yeah, don't fact check it. Just leave it be.
All right. So we got John Elway as your quarterback, backed up by Dan Marino. We've got
and Bubby Brister. I've got a third string.
Yeah, well, I mean, backup. You got Barry and Emmett as your running backs.
Oh, split backs is going to be fun with that team.
And then you got Jerry Rice as one of your receivers. You've got Michael Irvin as your second receiver. I think the only thing we're missing is a slot.
I thought you put somebody else in there.
You got Keith Jackson as your tight end. And then, here's your slot guy. I did. That was my pick for Sterling Sharp.
Yeah, Sterling Sharp. Yeah, it's like I'm going. Wait, I thought we had another guy up there that you had picked.
And then we got.
It's like Sterling Sharp was one of my favorites. I like Sterling.
We got Reggie White as your offensive lineman, or defensive, I mean.
Yep, he will terrorize them all.
He got to the wrong pile. All right, so you got Reggie Roby as your punter.
Reggie White, Reggie Roby.
Jerome Brown on your defensive line. You got Joey Browner
in the backfield.
Darrell Green.
Shut down corner on one side of the field. One side of the field's going to be worthless.
You got big boy Jerry Ball.
Oh, the big ball.
And then you got Junior.
Look at that. Defense.
R.I.P. Junior.
Yeah.
And then you got Lawrence Taylor, Epic, and Mike Singletary.
Oh, and Bruce Smith should be in there some. I think he was an early guy.
Yeah. We got to go through these cards. But I'll definitely give you this little stack here. I mean, you're talking about that's a monster team. And
I love that team.
That's a lot of cards, but it's a monster team. You'll be happy with that one. That's going to make for some good videos. Except, I don't know that I would pick Elway over Marino personally, but
Well, but I'll definitely have Marino in there just to kind of showcase my choice. I might get fired as head coach or GM.
Right?
It's like, can't believe you would pick Elway. It's like, hey, Elway had 2 Super Bowl wins and went to 5.
I like this stack of cards that we built because that means we went through quite a few packs, which is very fun. I enjoyed
Look at that tower. It's almost as tall as the sodas.
Almost. And some nice memorabilia back there from the 1999 Super Bowl, back-to-back champions. I figured you'd appreciate that.
That soda is that old, if you think about it.
Yeah, well, I have some from the 1998 season as well. So,
Wow. Well,
and
that'll make you so sick if you drink it.
yeah, no, they're just for show. Nobody's drinking those.
I do not recommend anybody going, hey, I want a bottle of Coke. You better hide that from the kids, man.
And I'm gonna leave on Mr. Brett Favre. Yeah, he's got some controversy, but as a Packers fan, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers was good. Brett Favre was good. I was pissed that he went to the Vikings. So was most everybody. But what do you
You know what's
say?
funny? I see Aaron Rodgers doing the same thing Favre did. A couple years with the Jets and then off to the Vikings.
It's possible, but they got Darnold now, who's playing pretty well. So
Yeah, but if you could have Aaron Rodgers or Sam Darnold, thing is, I'll take Sam Darnold because I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan.
well, and Aaron Rodgers, you can just tell his performance after last year. His performance is down. He's just not the same guy he used to be. It happens. Father Time wins 100% of the time.
Yep, Father Time is undefeated.
Undefeated. Well,
He is the 72 Dolphins.
uh, Randy, this was a fun episode. I enjoyed the football. I think we're gonna have to do this again. I'm gonna reach back into the time capsule and find some more 90s football because I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was. It was. Now we got basketball coming up, right?
Yeah, that was going to be my next thing. So next week we're actually going to stick with the change of sports, and we're going to do 90-91 Skybox next week, and we're going to have a special guest with us as well.
Somebody that'll have a little bit more maybe insight into that season.
I,
I know a little bit. I know a little bit about basketball too, but it's like it sounds like he knows a lot more.
yeah, so one of my friends, Kirk, will be joining us, and he is an encyclopedia for 90s basketball. Well, 80s, 90s basketball. When I talk to him, that dude's got, I mean, the memory of a elephant when it comes to that stuff. So I wasn't a huge basketball guy, so I don't have the real like I could tell you about some of the players, but I never really cared much for basketball. I was a Utah Jazz fan. I liked the mailman Karl
Well,
Malone.
that's why you don't like basketball.
Well, I liked Karl Malone and I liked John Stockton. So that was my. Also, it's where I that was basically the only games I ever got to see because I was in Colorado and the Nuggets sucked. So
The Nuggets weren't that terrible. I mean, they weren't that great either. But it's like I like the Nuggets of the '80s. The Nuggets of the '80s could have won championships if Calvin Nat and Fat Lever wouldn't have gotten hurt in like '86. It's like they went to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers, but Fat Lever and Calvin Nat both got hurt. They really could have given the Lakers a run for their money, but
and
fortunately, it was not to be.
I'm also gonna die on the hill every time that I wasn't an MJ fan, still not an MJ fan, but I really liked Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen was the blue collar guy of that team. He kept it all together.
See, to me, it's like I'm an MJ fan. I'm the guy that still thinks MJ is the GOAT. It's like, but I'm not a LeBron guy. I am very anti LeBron. But I also believe Magic Johnson doesn't get enough credit for being. He could have been a guy that averaged 30 points a game easily, but he did everything great, and he was more of a facilitator. But if he wanted to shoot the ball 25 times a game like Jordan, he could have easily averaged those points. But he knew that the road to championships was him being the best point guard, and he was amazing at it. 6'9" point guard, way before LeBron started toying with it. So Magic to me needs more credit. He gets a lot, but he gets lost in the shuffle behind Magic and Michael and guys like LeBron and Michael.
Well, we'll save some of that talk for next week when we have Kirk with us. And everybody, if you're into basketball in the early 90s, 9091 Skybox, we have a whole box of those to open up, and we'll probably get through like this week. We'll get through as many packs as we can of those. So if you want to watch, come on and join us back next week. It'll be a fun show again. And then after that, I think we'll get back to baseball. I'm not sure where we'll be from there, but we got time. So uh, we'll wrap this episode up here. Randy, thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing some of your videos on the All Star team that we've built, because so far those have been really good and people are liking them. So we'll keep that going. And anything else to add?
Nope. And just join us for our week of cards and videos that we'll do all week. You'll do the shorts, and I'll take some of the long play stuff, and we'll keep pumping stuff out for people to watch.
All right, just adding that content, and hopefully everything will keep moving forward. And can't wait to do some basketball next week. All right,
Yep.
thanks everybody for watching, and enjoy football today. And we'll talk to you next week.